and he's gonna whisk her off her feet and everything's gonna be fine. Oh no, he was a dick. Hello! Hope you guys are all okay and all good. Welcome to another video and my review of The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. A little bit before Christmas I did a sort of YouTube survey type thing over on my Twitter, which, to be fair, not loads of people responded to, but of the people that responded, one of the most popular things that they responded to was whether or not I should start doing single book review videos. I rarely do these, but because people have said they would like them, I am doing one, so let's go. So, awkward thing out the way, I lent my copy of The Cruel Prince to my lovely friend Jess at work, so I don't actually have my copy with me to wave emphatically about at you. So all I can really do right now is talk you through and show you a picture of The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This got sent to me a little bit before Christmas by the lovelies over at Hotkey Books in exchange for a review. I was a huge fan of Holly Black's The Curse Workers trilogy. I loved the work that she did on the Spiderwick Chronicles with Tony DiTerlizzi. That's one of my favourite children's series ever. I actually really want to reread that. Maybe I should reread that. Thoughts that I'm having as I'm making a video. For the most part, this will be spoiler free. I will let you know when the spoilers are going to start coming and you can just stop watching from there. Or if you want to carry on watching and spoil it for yourself, well, that's completely up to you. But I'm going to give you a warning when it's about to get spoilerific. Prepare bodies. This was my first read of 2018 and it was actually a really good way to start my reading year. I was really looking forward to this book. It's one that I have been thinking about for quite some time. It got announced ages ago, so it's kind of been on my radar for quite some time. It's just been a case of waiting to see when it was going to come out. So really great start to my reading year. For the most part, I really enjoyed this book. I was discussing this with my friend Jess at work actually, because I've lent the copy to her so she can read it too, and we both loved the Curse Workers trilogy. It was Jess that kind of put me onto it, and I did kind of preface giving her the book by saying this didn't do it for me in the same way that the Curse Workers trilogy did it for me. And she said that's possibly because we read the Curse Workers trilogy so close together, which is, I think, a fair point. I burned through all three of those in a week, so actually I can't really remember where the first book ends and the second book starts and the second book ends and the third book starts. I kind of read it in what could probably be considered its purest form. I sort of read like the entire story, so for me there was no chance for a dip or there was no kind of cliffhangeriness about it. I was just kind of reading the whole thing straight through like it was one whole book. Actually, I was listening to the audiobook, which is read by Jesse Eisenberg, and it's really great. I do recommend. So I think while this didn't do it for me in the same way that the Curse Workers trilogy did it for me, Jess makes a very good point. It's probably because I read the Curse Workers trilogy flat from start to finish, whereas this is obviously going to have to be a bit more of a slow burn because I'm going to have to wait for second and third books to come out. Quick summary! The Cruel Prince is the first in the Folk of the Air trilogy from Holly Black. It follows the story of our main character Jude, who right at the beginning of the book is stolen away along with her sisters, Taryn, her twin sister Taryn and her older sister Vivi, and they have their parents killed in front of them by Redcap General Maddock, who is also Vivi's dad. 10 years on, and all the sisters are living in the land of the fairies, and Jude wants nothing more than to fit in. She's a mortal girl who's been stolen into this fairy realm. She's not well respected by other members of the fairy world. They're often quite mean to her. People who are higher up are often quite horrible to her, despite Maddock being her dad and the lovely life that she has for herself when she's there. She's headstrong, she's awesome, she spends an awful lot of time having to stand up for herself. She's really great. She's a great character and one that you can really root for the most part. But it is her want to fit in that gets her caught up in a lot of courtroom politics and bloodshed. This book is exciting, it's different, like right from the very start. It doesn't really pull any punches because it's right at the beginning that you are seeing Jude, Taryn and Vivi 10 years prior to like the real beginning of the book, and you're seeing their parents get slaughtered in front of them and then get taken away. Holly Black doesn't pull any punches in the opening. She is dragging you straight into this story and not really giving you a chance to breathe, which is great. There were definitely points in the book where I thought it was going to get a little bit predictable. There were like tiny little moments that were happening where the tropey part of my head was very much thinking, so this is going to go there and this is going to go there and this is going to go there. And fortunately, for every expectation that I had for Holly Black to zig, she zagged, and it was very impressive and very well done. The other characters in the book are also really interesting to look at. Cardan and Locke, Taryn, Vivi, they're all people that I want to learn more about. Even Maddock to a point as well. I want to know more about his background and where he came from. I want to know more about Jude's mother. There's so many questions that are opened up in this first book and so many great characters that are put on display. It kind of sets up this really broad world for Holly Black to dance and play around in, really, and take us through. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how it's going, especially with where it ended. I'm really intrigued to see where it's going to go. There's so many different places it could go from here. It just makes it really, really exciting. I thoroughly enjoyed the book. I'm very much looking forward to the sequel, which I'm assuming isn't coming out until next January, so that's a whole lot of waiting for me to do, but I'm really excited for it. It's a really great book. I really enjoyed it. An absolutely cracking start to my reading year. As for some further reading for people who feel like they might enjoy this book, or people who have enjoyed this book and are looking for something else, I really do recommend the Curse trilogy by Holly Black, which is White Cat, Red Glove, and Black Heart, I believe, is the third one. They're absolutely incredible urban fantasy upper YA books. They're normally, in the UK, they're shelved in like sci-fi fantasy, but I feel like they're fully YA. They're really fantastic books. It's Holly Black just planting all of these different seeds as she goes through, and then really pulling the strings as she goes along. It makes for really, really exhilarating reading. I do recommend those. I also recommend the Spiderwick Chronicles by her as well. They're really, really fantastic. I really want to read her other fairy series, which was Tithe and Ironheart and something else. I really want to read those too now, because I'm kind of feeling it. I'm feeling the Holly Blackness of everything at the moment, so yeah. And that is the end of the spoiler-free part of this video. From this point on, I'm going to be asking questions to anyone else who may have read it, so we can have chats about it in the comments. I would really love to talk to you all about it, because I don't really know of anyone else who has read it yet. Until my friend Jess has read it, I have no one to talk to about it. So, like, let's chat about this in the comments. So if you are yet to read this book, please click off this video now. I don't want to spoil it for you if you're planning to read it, or if you're not planning to read it, you can stick around, and if you just want to listen to me talk in the background while you're getting ready in the morning. I know some of you do that. Hey Sam, I hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome people who have already read this book, or people who are not bothered about hearing spoilers. I'm glad you've stuck around. I'm really looking forward to looking at the audience retention rate on this video. How many of you will actually still be here? So there were a lot of questions that I had at the end of this book, and a lot of feelings that I had about some of the relationships that were set up. I really enjoyed the development of Jude and Maddox over the course of the book. I love the fact that Jude was so torn between whether or not to like Maddox or dislike Maddox. There were times when she forgot exactly what he was like, and that's what made the ending so interesting, is that she'd almost forgotten what he was like and then kind of proved herself to be actually more like him than she even thought, which I thought was great. It kind of put her in this position of power, and I am so intrigued to see what their relationship is going to be like in the next book. I don't understand how that's going to work, especially with Oak so young. I don't know whether we'll maybe jump forward a bit. I'm not sure, because because Oak's got what, 7 years before he's going to be on the throne, so I do wonder what's going to happen in the in-between times. Surely are we going to be showing 7 years over the next 2 books, or is Holly going to jump forward at some point? I want to know what's going to happen between Maddox and Jude. It was an interesting relationship from the get-go. There was a lot of tension there, and it was nice to see it build, and then especially with Maddox kind of knocking her down when she wanted to become a knight, Maddox knocking her down about that, but then also kind of giving her a lifeline in like the sense that he was going to help her should she want to get into the court, and then she sort of realised exactly what he was like because she went off and become a spy for someone else. It was a whole big thing. It was very, very interesting. I'm intrigued to see where their relationship's going to go. A relationship that I'm not really too keen on is that of Cardan and Jude. There was a lot going on with Cardan and Jude. That was not something I saw coming. One of the twisty turny things that she was doing, one of them was with Locke. When Locke showed up, I thought, oh, okay, so she's found this boy, and this boy is lovely, and this boy is gorgeous with his fox-like eyes, and he's gonna whisk her off her feet, and everything's gonna be fine. Oh no, he was a dick. So I'm glad that she really twisted that up, and so I want to see what's gonna happen with the whole Locke and Taryn thing, and I want to see how that's gonna affect any relationship that Jude has with Taryn or with Locke, because that door seems to be closed now, and before Locke ended up being a complete dickbag. I was kind of into it. I kind of liked the relationship that they had, although she was sort of using him for information in a little bit in a way, but that's a whole big thing. I'm kind of intrigued to know what's going to happen with their relationship. But yeah, Cardan and Jude's relationship is something that I am not altogether on board with. Obviously, at the end, it's kind of turbulent, and it doesn't look like they're really that keen on each other because Jude has double-crossed Cardan, which is another big twisty turn that was really greatly appreciated because everything was kind of going a bit too smoothly with Oak about to be crowned. I thought I knew where it was going to go, and then it got switched around, which was great. It was shocking right to the end, which was great for me, because even though at this point I was very much into the story and had very much accepted the fact that Holly had twisted everything that I thought was going to be predictable, she had twisted the other way, she then decided to just twist again, just to throw an extra curveball in there, which was so great to read and so exciting to be with. But their relationship, with the amount of cruelty that Cardan has inflicted on Jude and the amount that Jude has had to go through with him, the making out was like, I didn't know whether I didn't feel like I was here for it, because it was kind of like revenge kisses, and it felt a little bit iffy to me. So I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen with them, and I'm not 100% sure I would be on board with them getting together at the end. It would depend what happens along the way. Depends what happens in book 2 and 3 as to whether or not I agree or I'm on board with them being together at the very end. We'll see what happens. So I have a lot of questions. Like, I want to know what's going to happen with Baelkin and Maddock. Like, that's a whole big thing. I'm not 100% sure where they were at the end of the book, so I don't know how that's going to be affecting Jude, because there's this whole thing where she's going to be basically fighting for her life for the next 7 years until Oak can come back and take the throne. What's Jude going to do with Cardan? What's Jude going to do about everything that's going on? What is going to happen with Oak and Vivi in the real world? Are we going to end up with like split perspective in the next book so that we get to see more of Oak and Vivi? Or will Jude be kind of drifting between the two worlds? Are her allegiances going to be split between the real world, Oak and Vivi, and the fairy realm with Cardan, and trying to keep that ready for Oak when he comes back? There's a whole lot of questions that need to be answered, and I am so excited to know what they're going to be. Also, I may have missed something, or I may have misread something, but is Oak Locke's half-brother? Because if Prince Dane slept with Locke's mother, right, then Oak and Locke are half-brothers. Is that right? So we might see more from Locke in the next book. Also, apparently there's like a cameo from characters from the Darkest Part of the Forest, which I've not read, which is probably something I now need to read, because it's a queer relationship, and you know what I'm like. I would love to hear any of your thoughts in the comments below. Do let me know what you thought of this book if you've already read it. I have so much that I want to talk about, so let's talk about it in the comments. Okay? I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope this is something that you will be into in the future. I'm hoping to do a lot more single book review videos over the course of the next 12 months. Don't forget to put a like on this video and to subscribe if you want to see more. I love each and every one of your faces, and I will speak to you soon. Bye!